गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। When we were struggling for independence before 47, Mahatma Gandhi has started a peculiar struggle, non-retaliation philosophy. Nowhere in the history of the world you can find that. And all the satyagrahis, those who are satyagrahi means those who insist on truth. When they were ready to face the bullets and everything freely, the British were so terrified and started inquiring, what is that which makes these foolish Indians to come before the bullets without fear? Where from this fearlessness has come in them? So a commission was set. And the commission conducted the studies and came to a conclusion. A report was sent. There is one couplet, and this couplet is again and again said by these people, and after saying that couplet again and again, they become terribly fearless. And that couplet was from Bhagavad Gita. Nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pavakaha na chainam kledayantyataha na shosheti martaha. They will chant and go fearlessly in front of the bullets. Then the British government has ordered, find out who is the author of this couplet. And first of all, we must persecute him. See the power of these words. Friends, unless you discover something higher in your life, you can never be fearless. And unless you discover fearlessness in life, life is not worth living. There are 2-3 options for all of us. First option is, if you do not agree, retaliate with full force and vigor. May what come. Second option is, accept everything as it comes, cheerfully, without retaliation, but completely. We, so-called spiritual people, follow average between the two. What we do? We accept on the surface value and retaliate from within. So the inner retaliation results into peptic ulcers. All the psychosomatic disorders are the result of this funny kind of approach to life. So, if we want to be fearless in life, let us hold on to something which is real. But most of us are all the time afraid, and we die every moment. Whenever we are holding on something finite, you are bound to suffer the fear psychosis throughout your life. And now, what is that which can take away the fear? And the highest fear that all of us have is the fear of death. Those who have conquered the fear of death, they alone can live. And those who are afraid of death, they are living death. They are not living life. So here Arjuna's question was, in this war, how can I kill my people? Will it not be a great sin? In reply to that, the Lord is giving a different vision to the confused, defeated and frustrated Arjuna. Friends, If we are in a chaotic condition because of wrong thinking, it can be corrected only by right thinking, not by absence of thinking. Please understand this. Suppose we have a wrong thinking. Wrong thinking is that I never expected that after a marriage he or she will change so much. Now this is a wrong thinking. After marriage, if he and she will not change, then he and she can be only a pet. Pets don't change. That's why once a pet, all the time a pet. So you get married to a pet, then you won't have problem. So the wrong thinking is this. Now this wrong thinking can be corrected only by right thinking. If this is the chaotic condition in your house, in your family life, and you want to get out of it, and then you start doing meditation. Shiva. And the wrong thinking is maintained as Shiva. This is one aspect. Second aspect is that what you want to kill can never be killed. Now there are two views about it. To understand this, take an example. Suppose you stand in front of the mirror. So the moment you are in front of the mirror, you are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Who want to have Nirvikalpa Samadhi, don't struggle. Even in a pan shop you go, there are many mirrors there. And immediately you see your reflection and you are in Samadhi. Hairstyle if you have hair. Isn't it? Okay. Oh, suppose that mirror breaks for whatever reason. When the mirror breaks, what happens to the reflection or to you? Nothing happens. Reflection cannot be broken because it is not real. And nothing happens to you because you are independent of the mirror. See the beauty. In the same, whether you consider yourself to be a limited individual functioning through the equipment of body, mind, etc., or you consider yourself to be the supreme reality, whichever way you consider, in both the cases, there is nothing that can happen to you. This is the right thinking. And once you are convinced of this, then alone the fearlessness will come. And the fearlessness will not be foolishness. The other day I gave you example. So, this right thinking is the foundation of peace as well as prosperity. When there is prosperity without peace, like in the overdeveloped countries, and when there is peace without prosperity, like the never developed country, both are extremes, both are wrong. Because in both the cases, it is only the wrong thinking. The Western world is so much extrovert that they have attained perfection in the extrovert world, really developed fantastic. But the inner world they have totally neglected. And we, the East in India, we have developed the inner world so much that we have given divorce to the outer world. And then we start glorifying our poverty. And then we start glorifying that, see, in India we believe in save every drop of petrol. Friends, I tell you the real philosophy of life. Saving is not the right philosophy. Earn more so that you can spend more. Unless you have that positive thinking. Why spend so little? Because we have nothing in our pocket. we start glorifying. No. See, my monthly expenditure is minus. That is not the lifestyle. Create wealth, spend wealth. It is on the contrary, it is our culture alone where the wealth is divinized and there is a Lakshmi Devata. And yet we have got these funny notions. So this funny notion, wrong thinking has to be corrected and then discover the fear. As the great, consider normal mic देना प्रभु. डाउट लगता है कि मेरे गले का माइक तो खराब नहीं हुआ, दूसरा हो तो रखा देना है माइक. अच्छा. So the vision is Arjuna's problem. How can I kill the people? Now the teacher has given a beautiful example. As the worn out clothes are thrown away, but the person who has thrown the clothes away, he continues to exist. And then he asks for new clothes. In the same manner, we have thrown away our childhood body. Then we have thrown away our teenage body. Then we have discarded our not so old body. Then we have discarded our they say old body. These are the different states of our body. And thereafter, we have to discard the really old body. But in and through all this discarding process, our existence is continuous, unbroken. Please understand this basic principle. Once your attention is focused on this higher issue, then the teacher says, Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kledayantyapaha, na shosheti marutaha. See how scientifically the truth is presented. There are only 4 methods of destruction in this world, not 5th method. First method is anything that is born out of earth, such as steel or anything, stones, etc. They are responsible for the destruction. Enam, that means this supreme self that we are, about whom you talk about killing and getting killed, enam shastrani na chindanti. This truth cannot be destroyed by the stones and the swords and the bullets. The second method of destruction is nainam dahati pavakaha. Something is reduced to ashes because of the fire. Second method of destruction. The third method of destruction is nachainam kledayantyapaha. When something is put into water, it gets rotten and destroyed. The third method is the destruction because of water. And the fourth is na shosheti marutaha. Because of the constant impact of the air, there is complete dehydration and the object is destroyed. Now be very attentive. These 4 things, earth, water, fire and air, they are supported by space. Earth exists in the space, water exists in the space, fire exists in the space and air exists in the space. And all these 4 of the methods of destruction have no impact on the space, because the rule is support is never destroyed by the supported. Simple technique. Now we go one step further. This space where the whole world is existing, where is this space? In Upanishad one story comes, the wife disciple. In one Upanishad, the wife becomes a disciple. Only in the Upanishad, okay? So, in that Upanishad, the wife disciple asks the Guru husband, please tell me, who am I? So, he asks her, you tell me, What you think you are? Then she starts telling, I am so and so. Where are you? I am in your ashram. Where is the ashram? Ashram is in Bombay. Where is Bombay? Bombay is in Maharashtra. Where is Maharashtra? Maharashtra is in India. Where is India? India is in Asia. Where is Asia? Asia is on the earth. Where is the earth? Earth is in the waters. Where are the waters? Waters are in the fire. Where is the fire? Fire is in the air. Where is the air? Air is in the space. Where is the space? Space is in our mind. Space doesn't exist anywhere else. When the mind is enfolded, as in deep sleep, that time you are in India or you are in Pakistan. When the mind is enfolded, that time you are in 2002 or 1942. Think. The whole world is contained in that mind. And those people who have reached up to this position of mind, for them is the further journey. And where is the mind? Mind by itself has no existence. It is enlivened by the light of consciousness. And this conscious principle is indestructible. Therefore, unless we rise above from the body level existence, from the water level existence, from the fire level existence, from the air level existence, from the space level existence, from the mind level existence, when you rise up to the level of conscious existence, nothing in this world will ever frighten you. This is how the great Alexander, when he came to India, he was told that this is the most funny country. Here nobody is afraid of anything. And he was shown a great master. Here is a master, afraid of nothing. He said, not even Alexander the Great? He said, no. So he went there and talked to him. So he called that great master and he simply looked at him, not even said good morning, salutation. He got angry. Don't you know who am I? If you don't respect me, I'll kill you. So that great master says, as you will see my body falling down, I will also see my body falling down in front of you. When this is said, he was so stunned. What these people are made up of? He was put in the jails. And again after a few days he goes there. See, what can I do? I have put you behind the bars. Now ask what you want. I can grant you anything. He again looked at that foolish Alexander and simply smiled and said, you want to give me something? Little bit move this side. Let the sunlight come in the cell. That fearlessness is possible only when we rise above small little things in our life. Our life is a chaotic khichdi, hodgepodge of small little things. He looked at me, she did not talk to me. I wanted a cup of tea in the morning, they gave by mistake coffee. My whole day is gone. Such useless individuals are fit for destruction. We have to have something great goal in life. Otherwise, what is the life? So many are born in millions. They grow like mosquitoes and they perish like a epidemic. Are we also going to be one of them? Unless we are fired with some higher vision, success is not possible. And higher vision is not only hallucination, but it is the vision which really inspires you. That vision which inspires you is the right vision. That vision which motivates you is the vision of relativity. In politics, in the social work, we get motivated. But on the spiritual path, We are inspired. And therefore, you will never come across a spiritual master who has ended his life in frustration. But there are many politicians and many social workers. They have done such a wonderful job, and yet toward the evening of their life, they are totally frustrated, broken. Because motivation is a borrowed energy. Inspiration is your inherent potentiality. Therefore, friends, if we want to discover the fearlessness, we have to rise above from the average lifestyle to something which is very higher. And please remember, spirituality or higher life has nothing to do with the makeup of your uniform. Please be very clear. Higher life means suddenly start putting on slippers and go on putting on this kind of funny clothes as I am putting on. And thereafter have a complete kind of makeup, different colors, red in the center, white around, and one again white dot in the center, and they glue in. Now I look Babaji, Anji. These are the cartoons of spirituality. Spiritual growth is an inner phenomena. It has nothing to do in the outer world. Unless we become convinced of this, our spiritual life is only a burden, a load that we carry as a donkey carrying the load of gold bricks on its back. So, this is the vision the teacher gives. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyaapaha, na shosheti marutaha. The moment you take this vision, with that fearlessness, you live life. Then you will start enjoying life. Santa Gyaneshwar, the greatest saint of Maharashtra, 700 years before, he has written all his experiences in a book called as Amrita Anubhav. And the last verse of that composition, he says, "Oh man, this is the great festival of existence. Come on, join with me. It is an international call free, toll-free call. Don't be a beggar and suffer in this world. Life is a celebration." Who can celebrate? He who is having a diabetes. Can he celebrate the sweets? All the time he will look at the sweets and suffer. In the same manner, those people who look at the world and suffer, they are suffering from diabetes. Diabetes means die beta. Yahi tumhari zindagi hai, diabetes. That's why this vision is the highest vision. And with this vision you live in this world. Your perception will change. So, the teacher continues further with this vision. Achedyo yamadayyoyam akledyo shoshevacha nityaha sarvagatasthānuhu achaloyam sanatanaha. This truth that we are, it is achedyaha, cannot be destroyed by weapons. Adayyaha, it cannot be burned by fire. Akledyaha, it cannot be made wet by the waters. And ashochaha, it cannot be dehydrated by any air. Because nityaha, it is eternal. Sarvagataha, beyond the limitation of space. Sthanuhu, it is ever the same. Achalaha, immovable. And sanatanaha, that is our reality. Don't believe. Analyze your own experience. Do we have the experience of our birth? Nobody has. Do we have the experience of our growth? We don't have. People remind us, "Auntie, what is the time now?" We don't have that experience that we are. That's why many people sometimes they come in a mini short. I have to meet one old man in a mini short in Calcutta. एकदम particular man.
walking there on the lake view room. Very nice garden. Comfortably walking early morning, maybe about 5:30. From nowhere, I think he came and stood in front of me. Tell me what is my age. When you meet anybody for the first time, you never ask this question. Unless you are crazy. So, when I looked at him, no, wake up, wait. But you cannot hide the reality. Truth is always exposed. So when I looked at him, I said, you look 60. I knew you will say later. Everybody says that. But you know, I am 81. Now, his whole life is only in one. Even at this age, I am young. And therefore, I continue to be training. How long are we going to hold on to this body? Nityaha sarvagatasthana. But essentially we are neither having the experience of birth, nor the experience of growth, nor any one of us have any time the experience of death. But don't believe. If you have courage, reject this thing. If you reject this thing, you are denying your own experience. I am not telling you, if you go to heaven, this will happen. I guarantee you, none of us will go to heaven. Ram, Swamiji, this also is very important. When I say none of you go to heaven, it is not a curse. Because in the 9th chapter the teacher tells us, Shirde Putte Marjalokam Vishanti. You may go to the 5-star hotel. How long? When you go there, the right hand goes and serves. The watchman or the person there, he opens the door and you are received with great honor. When your money is over and if you don't want to leave, the same hand which went on his head comes on your neck. And you are not thrown out. You are taken to the kitchen. Wash the dishes. Till you pay the bill. In the same way, even heaven is not something great. Don't get infatuated by that. So, if you are able to be happy, fearless now, then alone you can be happy and fearless always. Those who have never experienced the joy of freedom, those who have never experienced the joy of fearlessness, they are wasting their life. That is why the great master who in the world lead. One of the great masters, Swami
Ram says like this, Ram says like that. So, you are going to that place. Are you not afraid? Nobody you know. With whom will you stay? For you and with you. And he became the greatest follower. Unless we live with fearlessness and self-confidence, no success is ever possible. So, Nitya Sarvagatasthanu Achaloyam Sanatanaha. Further, Avyaktoyam Chintyoyam Avikaryom Uchyate Tasmadevam Viditvayanam Nanushochitum Arasi. Because of this, you don't deserve to be miserable. See the words of the Lord. No shochitum arhasi. You don't deserve to be miserable. If you are miserable, you have taken a backdoor entry. See, in IIT, probably one of the IITs, I went for some talks. And after the talk, everything was over. I was asking the students some questions answered. I said, hey, kindly tell me, when all of you IIT students are supposed to be the cream of intelligent students of India, So among you, what is your interaction and experience? Because among fools there is no problem. All the problems are only among the intelligent people. That is why fools can unite. Intelligent people can never unite. So you are all intelligent. So what is your experience? So they say, Swamiji, we have got two types of students. One type of students are those who have appeared in the competitive examination, struggled through, got selected and got admitted. One lot of students. Second lot of students, those who have got so many criteria, this caste, that caste, this concession, that concession, and as a result, suppose their requirement was 50 marks, they have got so much of requirement that they get 80 marks, and therefore they are definitely allowed to be admitted because of the criteria, not because of the quality. You get admission. After you get admission, now there the professors, teachers are teaching at that level of understanding. They go in a fast supersonic speed. And these backdoor entry fellows are all the time frustrated. They are ashamed to ask again. The moment they ask again, they say getting admission is one thing and understanding the subject matter is another thing. Whenever you go anywhere through backdoor entry, you have to suffer. Whenever we have lived our life through the backdoor entry, we have suffered in life. The straight entry is look in your own experience. Don't get carried away by this or that. Therefore, avyaktaha ayam, achintya ayam, avikari ayam. This reality is avyakta. It is unmanifest. You cannot know this truth objectively. Second is achintya. Don't try to think. I think I am thinking Paramatma, God, that Krishna has come. But I don't know how come he came with a tennis racket in the hand. You know, when you take photographs and by mistake, you forget to wind and there is overexposure on the same film. Then what happens? One and above that another picture and some funny thing comes out. In the same manner, you are dreaming to become the Wimbledon Maharaj, and other way you are all the time thinking about that let me have the vision of Krishna because everybody says he is very great. So, Wimbledon cross with Krishna. The vision is Krishna not with the flute but with the tennis racket in the hand, and not Pitambara but with the jean and latest design of the Lord. These are all the hallucinations of mind. Let us get out of it. Achintyaha, avikari, no modification. None of us have any experience that we are undergoing change. Tasmad evam viditva. Thus you discover this, know this. Once you know this, you will never be miserable. Therefore, no Ch.02 arhasi means you cannot justify that you are miserable. This is the foundation of the science of living. You cannot justify that you are miserable. You are the expression of the infinite bliss. Where from the blisters have come in our life? There is no place. Na Ch.02 arhasi. This is one of the most positive approach. Whenever anybody comes to you miserable and with all kinds of frustration, to beg sympathy, don't give him sympathy, give him a blow and remove his delusion and let him discover the inner strength. A real friend is he who will make you supportless and thereby make you discover that you are the support of your life, not anything outside. This philosophy of giving concessions and free ships is destroying the society. Once you start getting the taste of beggary. I was in Badrinath, and every year I go there. I like that place very much. And there are so many professional beggars, they also go. So it's not only I go as a beggar, they also go as a beggar. So there was one person about whom one person told me, Swamiji, do you know this person sitting in this particular place? He is sitting here for last 35-40 years. He does nothing, simply sits here. And whatever dana people give, 50 paisa, 20 paisa, 1 rupee, he is from somewhere from Sangli, Satara. He was a Maharashtrian. And he has huge property purchased from these small little coins that he has been collecting for last 30-40 years. Once you get the taste of getting something without efforts, we become shameless beggars. Very important thing. One thing I'll tell you. In our Bombay, there is a great saint, and his name is Pandurang Shastri Athavde. You must have heard the name. That great master has inculcated self-respect, and those who are following him sincerely, they do not accept any free ship. They don't go and accept any loans. They work hard, and with that earning, they live with the dignity of human existence. That is what is called real good. But we are all the time seeing how much we can get free. So that free attitude is the real bondage. So, tasmad evam viditva na shochitumarasi. You don't deserve to be miserable, and don't justify the moment you focus your attention on something higher. All the difficulties will disappear. Obstacles are the appearances when your attention is taken away from the goal of your life. There is a story our Swami Akhandanji Maharaj used to tell. There was a dog who was dedicated to the goal of his life. He decided, let me go from Bombay to Pune. He planned. Planning is required. Then I go from here to that place. One day it will take. I will take rest. And next morning again I will start. That next stop I will take rest. And I think in 10 days I can reach Pune. Decided. You may decide. World has also their own decisions. So the Bombay dog went first halt Thane. You may want to go and stay in Thane, but do you think the Thane dogs are on strike or what? They will start bouncing on you. So this Bombay dog decided, there are two options. One option is fight with all those Thane dogs. Destroy time, energy and the opportunity. One option. Second option, take your antenna down and start running. Because importance is not of the path, but the importance is of the goal that you have chosen in life. We all fight only about the bridges and the ladders. We have forgotten the goal of our life. Obstacles appear only when we are not dedicated to the goal of our life. What should be the goal of our life, Swamiji? Ronamat. Only one goal. Remain cheerful and happy. Swamiji, if you were married, this is one trump card against me. I know that. On the contrary, I tell you, you are superior than me. How? I am happy because I don't have wife. If you are happy in spite of your wife, then you are a real genius. So why don't you be better than me? Na sochitum arhasi. You cannot justify being miserable. And the day you take this vow in your life, may what happen? I refuse to be miserable. I refuse to be negative in life. The whole life's game changes. Further, he says, Atha chainam nityajatam nityam va manyase mritam tathapi tvam mahabaho naivam shochitum arhasi. See how much the Lord is telling again and again. Arjuna, you cannot justify being miserable. We become miserable to seek attention from the people. We seek miserable to get sympathy from the people. Nobody will give you sympathy if you are not miserable. And therefore, those weaklings all the time are seeking sympathy. And that is why you will see, if you go in the Western world, everybody talks to everybody with a smile on the face because there is nobody at home to talk with except the pets. अपने यहाँ घरों में we have plenty of people to fight. So all the air goes out. Therefore it is very, very essential. Never justify that you are miserable. I remember one experience. One example walked in my room. I don't have to read books to get the examples. Examples walk. So one example walked in. And when that example walked, the moment came, Swamiji, I am very miserable. What I should do? I said, Mama, stop. And raise my voice. If you want to conquer anger, do you know what is the meaning of conquering anger? Conquering anger means when you are able to become angry in a fraction of a second, then you have conquered anger. Not becoming angry is suppression of anger. It is not conquering anger. So I immediately increased my voice and temper and tone. I said, Mama, shut up. Now repeat what I say. She was so shattered and fearful. I don't know what happened to Swami. He never speaks like that. I said, now repeat what I say. Say, I am happy. But Swamiji, I said, shut up. Say, start saying. So she started, okay, you say, I am happy. I am happy. I say 100 times. When you start repeating, you are happy, so I am happy, 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 I am happy. When she really started expressing happiness, I said, now stop it. And I asked, Mama, now tell sincerely, are you really miserable? No, Swami. Those who are miserable, they are cheating the world. Happiness is reality. Misery is not. Therefore the Lord very clearly, emphatically, again and again tells, Atha chainam nityajatam nityam va manyase mritam tathapi tvam mahabaho naivam shochitum arhasi. Under this condition also, you can never justify your being miserable. What is the condition? Atha, if you think that we are again and again born, and we again and again die. So you accepted, is it not? So then what is the fun of crying? See, if you accept, you are a very wise person. That one who is born is going to die. And that one who is dead again going to be born. So this is going on again and again. What is great about it? If you understand this principle in real sport, you will not cry because of your death. And you will not cry on the death of others. There is a friend of mine here, very elderly man. He must be now 85, not out. And we went to see his friend who was dead. This is about 5-6 years before. And when I went to, because he says, Swamiji, हमारे वो कोई तुम्हें गोपी भाई मर गए, so you please come. So we are supposed to go everywhere. When somebody takes birth, we go. When somebody dies, we go. And we don't have to change the makeup. Everywhere fit. So I went there. After going there, Swamiji, will you please speak? I said, this fellow is dead. What will I speak? No. Speak to us. I said, when you are alive in the satsang, that time you don't listen. Do you think you will listen when this dead fellow is lying over here? I am not going to talk. So he said, Swamiji, it's difficult to talk to. I said, better don't talk. Then after 10 minutes, we came out. And then, as he was driving me, he said, Swamiji, I think now it is my number. That means his number, not mine. Swamiji is my number. Immediately I say, Kaka, take the car one side. Elderly man, I caught hold of his collarless jabba. I said, look here. You claim that you have been following satsang for last 40 years. And this is what we have learned. Every time you are listening again and again and again. And yet you have this thought in your mind that you are going to die. What you have heard? When you see somebody dead, and if a thought of your own death comes in your mind, you have wasted your total Jatam nityam va manya se mritam tathapi tvam mahabhaho. Bhagwan is giving him chabi. Mahabhaho, oh most powerful and fearless Arjuna, don't cry. See the beauty and the wit and humor in Bhagavad Gita. So, na tvam shochitum arhasi. You cannot justify that you are crying when the challenge comes in your life. See, when we don't understand the problem and the challenge, we cry. What is the problem and what is the challenge? Problem comes to us uninvited. Challenges we invite in life. So let us give an open invitation to the life and take everything as a challenge. There was once, this hurdle race. And in the hurdle race, they put some kind of hurdles. And boys or the girls, they have to run and jump and run and jump. And I was seeing it on a TV somewhere. And one old Amma was sitting. And she said, Swamiji, you go everywhere. Why don't you tell these people, these poor girls, they have to jump. Remove all those hurdles and let them run comfortably. Why they have to jump? Now see, I said, Amma, they have invited these obstacles. This is called as obstacle race. That becomes a problem if you look at it as a problem. But if you look at it as a challenge, then your inner strength is enlightened and something best comes out of you. Therefore, naivam shochitum arhasi, don't yield to this negative way of thinking. Further, another justification why you should not justify your miserable entity. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mrutasya cha tasmat apariharyerthe natvam shochitum arhasi. That which is apariharya, that which you cannot avoid, except in the dignity of joy. There was one girl, small girl. I always know she is a married lady. When she was small, about 8-7 years, South Indian, I went to their house for taking idli, dosha, etc. And because she was a small girl, she, from my plate, she took the vada and chutney and started eating. So any baby will do that. But it was a prestige issue for the father. My daughter and behaves like this thing. The daughter's behavior is not important. My daughter, that is important. Prestige issue. And when we are lost to this wrong kind of prestige, what can you do? You become angry and give one to that small girl. So when it was given to her, she coolly took that vada, she didn't throw away inside and continued eating. After that was over, when I got a chance to talk to that girl separately, I said, hey, look here, whenever your papa talks to me about you, he is so full of love and praise for you. The small girl told me, Swamiji, you don't tell me what my dad is. I know him very well. On the contrary, if any day he does not shout, he does not give me one, we all feel something is wrong with him. Because he cannot talk, he only barks. And now see, that child has accepted it. So tasmat apariharyarthe. If you accept the life as it is presented to you, you will never be miserable in life. We are all the time wanting everything should change according to our views. It has never happened, it will never happen. Once you accept this principle, the world is as it is. Don't try to change the world. Don't try to change the event. Don't try to teach others. You know, teaching others is like what? Teaching others is like somebody coming to me with a hair oil bottle. Swamiji, will you please use it? I can only feel pity on him. He doesn't know where to market his product. Is it not? In the same manner, this world has never changed. It was as it is from the day of creation till today. Many times people have got this funny notion that the world is so terrible. Can't we change it? I told him, look here. The world was always like this. In Treta Yuga, there used to be one terrible historical figure called as the Hiranyakashipu, tortured his own son. Then in Treta Yuga, there used to be another monster called as Ravana. Then came the Dwapar Yuga. These are historical, therefore only limited data. Then came the Dwapar Yuga. That time there was Duryodhan Kamsa Ityadi. In the present there cannot be history. History is only about the past. In the present we are all there, authentic data. When the world was different, it was always like this. Therefore, tasmat apariharyate. It is unavoidable. What is unavoidable? Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. All that is born must die. You know, in these various universities, they have the pictures of the ex-vice chancellors. And below their pictures, two dates are written. Date of birth and date of death. And the one who is in the present, the date of birth is written and date of death, they have kept empty space. The moment that fellow dies, we fill in. Oh yeah, next will come. Tasmad apariharyate. Therefore, jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu. Dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Another important principle. This is one very important principle that is given by our scriptures. Let us not have this wrong idea that if we do something wrong in this life, we can misappropriate. No. You may have failure in your computers. You can send some some virus. There is no virus which can corrupt the divine system. Do you know what is the reason? Biological virus affects our biological system. Logical virus affects the computer system. Paramatma is neither biological nor logical. Therefore, no virus can ever corrupt the divine calculations. And that is the only reason we can say why there is such a vast variety. Somebody is born with all genius, all comforts. Other fellow is born idiot with all the problems. Do you think that the Lord is a crazy guy? No. What we are getting in this life is our own seeds that we have sown. And therefore, here it is a clear understanding. Whatever is in our life, it is going to be our creation. So, jatasya hi dhruva mrityu, dhruvam janma mritasya cha, tasmat apariharyarthe. Therefore, Arjun, you may think that you will not fight the war, go away, but forget about it, you will have to do this. There is no choice. And therefore, you cannot justify being miserable. Further, one more argument to say that why you should not be miserable. Avyaktadini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata avyakta nidhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. Many of us, by many of us, all of us, are simultaneously parents as well as children. With reference to our parents, we are children. With reference to our children, we are parents. With reference to our parents, we are not that much worried and disturbed. But with reference to our children, there is nothing except worry and disturbance. What is the reason? The reason is, we have accepted our parents as they are. What is the reason? No choice. We cannot choose our parents. Did we ever become frustrated? I wish my mom was like Madhuri Dixit. Third class. This thought cannot enter our mind. But when it comes to our children, we start imagining, I wish my son is like that. He should become such a great man. He should become such a wonderful person. He should become this and that. And therefore we become miserable. So what is to be done? Here is the technique. Technique is, children are born not to us. They are born through us. You will come out of all the commotion and chaos that we carry as a load on our personality. Because what is the definition of everybody? All of us were earlier unmanifest. Then we become manifest. Thereafter we will become again unmanifest. We have not come out of absence. We have come out of unmanifestation. If there is a cassette and you play that cassette, the other day it so happened, I kept one cassette for recording and the other switch I did not switch on. So after recording it for 1 hour, then I realized, let me see how it is recorded, and I played the cassette. The cassette has recorded silence. Because there is nothing to record on that. In the same manner, if on the same cassette, if we have something recorded and if the cassette is played, the sound has not come out of absence. The sound was present but it was unmanifest. In the same manner, all of us were earlier unmanifest, now we are manifest, and then we become unmanifest. In short, never we were absent, never we shall be absent. Therefore, tatra ka paridevana, can we justify being miserable? And therefore, Arjun, all your logic and argument that you have put forward earlier in the first chapter that under these conditions, logic and argument, it is not worth fighting this war. This is totally wrong. And after having said this, then the teacher described the whole world and everything in the most wonderful manner. He says, Ascharyavat paschati kaschidenam, Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyaha, Ascharyavat chainamanya shrunoti, Shrutvapena vedana chaiva kaschit. The whole thing is the most wonder of all wonders. Whether you take the Lord, He is the most wonderful one, because you cannot find any logic anywhere. The name is Meenakshi, and she has got a binocular on her eyes. What can you give justification? The name is Karodimal, living on the road. There is dog, and he has become a Rodimal. You know, in Pune, there is one road. It is called as Lakshmi Road. And all the shops and everything is on the Lakshmi Road. And because of this recession, the people in Pune say, Lakshmi means wealth. In their local language, road means very thin. So Lakshmi Road. The Lakshmi has become so thin that the whole business is collapsed. So, everything is so ascharya. Nothing can be found out with logic and deduction. So, if you take the world, it is the wonder of wonders. If you take our own life, it is the most wonder of wonders. How? There are many better people than us who are working as our subordinates. And we are working as their bosses. And know in a heart or heart that my subordinates are far superior than me. And yet, we hold on to our position. We know that my daughter-in-law is far better than me. But I, the mother-in-law, do you think I will ever accept the superiority? Never. Is it not the most wonderful thing in this world? So the world is wonderful. Our life is most wonderful. Third thing. The Supreme Lord, He is the most wonderful. How? He is abundantly present and yet never seen. See the fantastic thing. It is something like this. We go to see the sea, and the sea is on high tide. And then we want to go and play. So when the waves come, we play with the waves. And that time our elders tell from backside, don't go deep into the sea, don't go deep into the ocean. All these things we are saying. And what is exactly happening? When we are touching the waves, we are touching the waters. When we are told don't go deep in the sea, we are talking about the waters only. So what we have done? We have called names to the water. The same water is called one time as the wave, other time as the ocean. Friends, whenever you call names to somebody, you are destined for punishment. In the same manner, this whole world is nothing but the divinity consolidate. And yet, we start calling names to that divine reality. Somebody is mind, somebody is not mind, somebody is inert, somebody is consciousness, something is good, something is bad. Because we have ourselves separated the divinity from us. The moment we understand this, anything that we have included in the definition of I, it becomes holy and pure. But this I we have made such a small one, cocoon brand I. And we don't want to break open the cocoon and expand to merge and embrace the totality. And therefore we suffer. So is it not the most wonderful thing that we are the source of happiness and we are running in the world for getting happiness? The most miserable search in the world is the search for happiness. The other day I received a letter from somebody. Swamiji, I have been listening, studying last so many years. Now one thought is only disturbing me. Can you please help? I have come to a point. There is something beyond the mind, but I get stuck up there. I am not able to go ahead. What I should do? I say, you stop doing. There you are. The barrier between you and the real you. What is our present status? Our present status in the language of computers. We are the virtual reality. And what is the actual reality? The separating factor between the virtual reality and the actual reality is the clouds of thoughts. The moment you drop the thoughts, all the clouds disappear and you come to discover that what a surprise it is. I have been searching for something and that I myself am. Therefore, Ascharyavat Pashyati Kaschidenam. Some people look at this whole phenomena as the wonder of all wonders. Second thing, Ascharyavat Vadati Tathaiva Chanya. And this is the most wonder of wonder. What is the wonder? All the teachers, all the scriptures talk about the truths that the reality is not the subject matter of language. And yet, they go on talking about it. Is it not the most wonder of wonders? And third, Ascharyavat Anyaha Ch.02. And the third type of people, when they listen to the divine theme, they are so stunned. What all I was thinking about the reality, divinity, is totally wrong. That is one of the reasons many people are afraid of going to Satsang for the divine discourses. Do you know the reason? The reason is, all of us are holding on to something or the other as our own imaginations about the world, about ourselves and about the God. And these our imaginations, when we come to satsang, they are shattered by the bombardment of the words of wisdom. And we feel totally lost. I have been doing this thing for so many years. Now here I am, totally gone. Oh Lord, what happened? I have been taking the mala in my hand and constantly chanting Krishna, 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 and here I come to discover, throw it away and discover that divine presence you. When this kind of bombardment starts coming, we get shattered, and therefore many people are afraid to go to satsang. Because they don't want to leave their own ignorant hold on this imaginary world. So, Ascharyavat Manya Ch.02. And the most wonderful part of the wonder is, Shrutva Pena Vedana Chaiva Kaschit. Although many of us are constantly listening about Paramatma, we have become professional satsangi. And yet, Naveda Kaschit. We have never come to discover what that reality is. Because we have never changed. As we were earlier, the same thing we continue to be. That is why many people ask this question, Swamiji, when we are listening satsang, we are totally different. But the moment we go out, put on the shoes, we don't know what happens. Something goes wrong and again back to square one. What is the reason? I say, you have told the reason. You have put on the shoes. Stop putting on the shoes and walk naked feet. Shoes are the symbol of your personality, isn't it? If somebody comes to you, you look at him, please come. And if you see, from his shoe, his toe has come out. Immediately your evaluation about that man changes. And that is our individuality. Because in Satsang now at this stage, what is our experience? I am neither the doctor nor the patient, neither rich nor poor, neither man nor woman, nor educated nor uneducated. All the specialities are discarded. The moment you discard your specialities, you become commoner than the commonest. And that is the joy of being. When we go out, we become. When we come to satsang, we just are. Being is freedom. Becoming is bondage. And therefore, Shrutva pena vedana chaiva kaschit. Although so many people come and listen, they are unable to discover their own essential nature. And further, having said this, then again the teacher tells Arjun, therefore you cannot justify being miserable. How? Dehi nityam avadhyoyam, dehi sarvasya bharata, tasmat sarvani bhutani, natvam shochitum arhasi. This is the principle applicable to everybody. It is not that only the holy people continue to exist. Even the unholy people continue to exist. Because the embodied never dies, continues to be. Suppose you have done a lot of sins and you die. Don't imagine that with the death the whole cinema story is over. No, it is not. For setting the accounts, again you have to start your next life. There is one word, Sanskrit word called as Runanubandha. Runanubandha means we all come together only to settle our debts. When somebody is blessed with the children who earn nothing but who spend everything of the parents, understand these are the people whose money you have misappropriated in your last life. They will come and settle every fine. Some people, everything is fine, but they have got so many diseases. The whole money is drained into the hospitals. I remember one friend of mine, now that boy is a software engineer. When he was maybe 1 or 2 years of age, a son of a doctor who was a professor in medical college, that time lecturer, now is professor. He used to have throughout his body lots of small abscesses, continuously oozing pus. And being the son of a doctor, they have tried everything, every pathy. After trying every pathy, they become pathetic, but the disease did not go. So I asked, hey, you are doctor, why don't you look after your own child? Swamiji, I have done everything, I have given up. I don't know what is the problem, it doesn't. We have tried all the tests, all the examination, homeopathy, naturopathy, every kind of thing we have done. It doesn't go. And I feel so pity to look at the child. I said, now you want to try something, if you don't ask questions, I'll think. No questions, you get the solution. Then I told him, every week, maybe Sunday, you go to some orphanage if it is nearby, and spend 100, 200 rupees, get wonderful sweets, and distribute to all the children, maybe for 11 Sundays. And then see. And he started that. And slowly by 3rd, 4th, 5th Sunday, it has started receding. By the 11th Sunday, all the problems solved. As a doctor he has a question. How this has happened? I said, I told you don't ask questions. Because Ashcharyavat Pashyati Kachideno. This is the most wonder of wonders. Secret is here. Whatever money you have to spend, you have to spend. You cannot stop. Therefore, whether we are good or bad, we continue to exist. So the Dehi, the embodied, Nityam, he is eternal, Avadhyaha, cannot be destroyed. Dehe Sarvasya Bharata. Tasmat, therefore, here Arjun, Sarvani Bhutane, and this is applicable to everybody. Now be very attentive. If I am an embodied, living in this body, so is true with reference to my wife. She is an embodied, living in her body. Then the child is born. What is the child? Same principle. Child is a body containing an embodied one. Now all these embodied individuals have come together to settle their mutual account. And therefore, in truth, there is nothing like relationship at all. So do your job best to the capacity and don't get entangled in this world and liberate yourself. Those who can understand this, they will live with everybody, but they will not get trapped in the relational relationship. The moment you understand this, then you will see all the miseries and destruction, frustration will go away. When I look at the young parents, I feel so pity, but I enjoy that. Why should I feel pity? And their pity is, Swamiji, my child is appearing for the second standard and I have to take leave, but my boss said there is no leave. So I am thinking I should resign the job. No, the child is appearing in the second standard. The father is taking leave. You cannot understand what is the correlation. And therefore he wants to leave the job. So when he asked me like that, I said, no, you should commit suicide. Go one step further. Then the question is, but Swamiji, why I am so much attached to my child? Because only one? Have half a dozen? The more the children you have, lesser is the attachment per child. You see the joy in our old families. There used to be 8, 10, 9, 12 children in the house, and even the husband has to ask the wife, ये किसका है कौन से क्लास में? And they are never bothered whether is in class 3 or class 4, whether studying or not studying. Who cares? एक और आ जाएगा उनको काम. But here हम दो हमारा आधा useless philosophy. Grow out of this foolish understanding of life. So, Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani. This principle is applicable to every one of us. Tasmat natvam sochitum arhasi. And therefore, you cannot justify being miserable. See how many times the Lord is again and again emphasizing. The message of Gita is, you are born to distribute joy and happiness. You are not born to distribute misery to the people. People are self-sufficient as regards miseries are concerned. They don't need from you. Once you understand this principle, as Bhagwan Krishna could keep smiling in spite of 16,108 wives, you also can with one wife. How do you know the success of a man? You have understood, isn't it? A successful man is he who can smile on the face of his wife. And a more successful man is he who pretends to be miserable in front of the wife. Because unless you befool them, you cannot be successful. So, tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. Now, after having given the higher vision and emphasizing the point again and again, don't justify yourself being miserable. Now here, some marketplace logic is brought. Because it is something like, when we talk, we give so many examples. One person asked me, Swamiji, sometime for the same point you give 3, 4, 5 examples. Why? I said, I do not know. I don't plan anything. But the reason is this. Which example will click whom nobody knows? If it is a husband, the husband-wife example clicks very quick. If it is a mother-father, that example clicks very quick. If it is a student, then the examination example clicks well. What is important is not what examples are given, whether it clicks or not. And therefore, after having given the highest standpoint, now the teacher comes lower to the level of Arjuna and he says, Swadharmamapi chaveksha na vikampitum arhasi dharmadhi yuddhashrayonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Now here Arjuna, looking at your own position, you cannot justify that you are a coward on a battlefield. Because for a kshatriya, for a warrior, there cannot be any better place than the battlefield. It is something like somebody gets selected for the cricket team. Not because he has the guts, but because he is belonging to this community, this quota, that quota, and the quota stone is selected. And when that quota stone is selected, he is given a bat in his hand. And then he goes and he comes to know that the fellow who is bowling, his bowling speed is 150 miles per minute. And the moment he sees, he is already paralyzed. And you are going there as an opening batsman. In the same manner, Arjun, this is your dharma, to fight the war. And therefore, you cannot justify that although fighting war is my dharma, but in this particular match, I don't want to play the match. This does not suit you. Hereafter, the teacher comes still at a lower level. And somehow or the other, the chaos and confusion born out of wrong thinking has to be set right. Only one thing is done in Satsang. Our wrong thinking is set right. Wrong thinking is not stopped thinking. Never stop thinking. If you only stop thinking, the impact of the wrong thinking will remain in your system. Let us not be afraid of thinking. Let us face everything boldly. And once you are clear of these cobwebs that we have created, then with that different vision, then look at the world. Then we come to discover that which I was considering as a terrible problem is the most wonderful challenge of life. The moment we convert the problem into challenge, we are destined for success. It is possible. It is not imagination. Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.